Hello, welcome back, Therapy Talkers. My name is Pauline, and this is Tammy, somewhere over here or there, and then she has someone very extra special sitting right next to her. But while you're here, give us a thumbs up because you're gonna like this video, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. And so, who do we have here today? Cillian, would you like to introduce yourself, or maybe Tammy can introduce you?
I'm Cillian. I'm this one's daughter. I'm Tammy's daughter. I'm 30. I'm a father of three, one biological, two stepchildren, and I'm just here for therapy talk.
Nice. Thank you for being our guinea pig. Yeah.
Oh, guinea pig, huh? I just love it. Tammy just continues to bring family members and they keep saying yes.
I'm like, if I'm going to suffer, you're all suffering with me.
Well, Pauline needs to bring somebody on next time.
Yes, Pauline. We need some Chef Josie or more family members.
Yeah, y'all hear that, family?
Yep. Your mama needs to come on. That'd be a great Mother's Day episode.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mama, you hear that? That was your invitation.
Yes.
Well, I guess before we get into it, before I forget, can we check in? Like, since Cillian is our guest, we're offering you some water, some tea, something. Hello, here you go. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. Baby's down for a nap. Kids are at school, so the house is actually quiet. It's barely a peaceful day so far, till I'm about to get ganged up on. But
he is the only man around, that's for sure. So he's all girl household, even the cat and the dogs.
Wow, it sounds like you're a blessed man.
I guess so.
Tammy, how about you? How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. I traveled to California to see my son and his family. We're going to be here a few days. Hugged on my baby. I've only seen her once, so this has been fantastic. Having some grandma time, learning how to be a grandma because I really don't know how to do it. But anyway, it's just been great catching up with my son Cillian. My other son Caleb traveled along with me, and it's just been a good time. Yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome.
What's going on your side?
What's going on my side? Well, this is the first time we're like on the same coast, same time zone. So this is great.
Oh,
West Coast is the best coast. What's up? I'm doing good. I had a pretty chill weekend. Didn't really do much. I feel good. I have one more day until I get back to work. So I'm pretty good. Relaxed.
Good. That's what I like to hear. We need our downtime for sure, don't we?
Yeah, because when we get to working, we get to working.
I hear that.
Yep. So what's on the agenda today, Tammy?
Well, you know what? This is really cool how this turned out. I was talking to Cillian one day on the phone, and he's like, you know what would be a really good topic for you guys? And he said the word
Toxic masculinity.
And I was like, what? And I called up Pauline on the phone, and I said, hey, Cillian wants to come on and talk about this. And you're like, yes. Immediately, you said yes.
Yes. Yes.
So here we are. We're going to talk about toxic masculinity from my son's point of view.
I'm here for it.
And
I am
offer some
absolutely here
facts.
for it. Yes. It's interesting how like words such as like toxic start like it's trending right now. So I definitely appreciate you saying this is something I want to talk about and I will be a guest.
Yeah. It takes a lot of bravery, I think, too.
Yeah, I just think it's a topic that more people need to know about and things to help improve the future of, well, everybody, not only masculinity, but femininity.
I can't say that word either. Femininity.
Yeah. There you go. That
reminds me of, like, was it Nemo?
Yeah.
They're like anemone.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Nonstop Disney stuff since I got here.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Disney is great.
We just paused Moana, so.
Wow. Okay. Are you gonna break into a song anytime soon?
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a hard time thinking about which one though. Yeah.
Oh dear. Just let it come from the heart. More natural.
Let it go. Let it go. I always end up singing on this talk show we have going on.
Talk show. Okay, I'm gonna save you an entire world before people stop watching with your singing, right? So, what is toxic masculinity? I mean, it's basically the idea that men or boys are supposed to act a certain way, right?
Yes.
Is that? Yeah, that's how I understand it.
Sorry for interrupting you. One big thing is we hear it all the time as like little kid. Don't be a sissy. Don't be a pussy. Man up. Be a boy. Boys will be boys, etc. And people don't think what that could do to kids. One of the things that I've learned is, as a young age, we learned it's not okay to cry in public. And then when we get older, it turns into, okay, if you cry in public, it's a problem. Boys are not supposed to cry. Why?
If they're not supposed to cry, what are they supposed to do?
Well, a lot of men, at least me included, we bottle things up and it turns into anger. And anger, just another word for pain, is one of the quotes that I heard. I'm like, you know what? That's a really good quote, and I really like it.
Okay. I like that. I think that's a good start into like your interest in this topic specifically. I mean, you're a dad of 3 girls, so how does this topic relate to you, and how does it relate to them, and so on?
Well, as we see, there's gender stereotype points. Like, for example, all men enjoy working cars. Men are supposed to be doctors, not nurses. And we do mechanics, jobs like that. And females is the other way around. They are nurses. They are caregivers. And there's not really any point of this. Why is gender supposed to be a specific way? Why are we programmed as a child, as a kid, to be a certain way? Like, if you look at advertisements as children, like we see, oh, look at this cute little Barbie dress up, or oh, a toy little vacuum to clean up. Well,
that's true.
It's like girls like, okay, so we clean up. Well, boys are like, smash this. Hulk
smash.
Hulk smash. Hulk gloves.
Smash! The power of the Hulk could be yours when you need it with Hulk hands. Hulk hands.
There you go. Oh, I didn't realize your shirt.
I saw it.
Yes, I'm a girl and I love the Hulk. So what do I do about that?
Yeah, and we're programmed at a young age. Boys are supposed to act a certain way. Girls are supposed to be a simple way, and they're often the opposites from each other.
They can be, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about that, Tammy? Some of these stereotypes.
You know, I'm going to have to admit that I probably fell into that as a mom. You know, I have my boys and I buy them the Matchbox cars. I buy them the Tonka trucks. I buy them the footballs and, you know, go outside and play. I didn't worry if they got dirty and stuff. And I had one little girl. She was the last of the children that I had. And I'm like, pretty princess. She wears the dresses. She wears the bows in her hair. She has fingernail polish. And I had her be girly girl. But I mean, now as an adult, I'm like learning, oh, gosh, that was a really huge disservice. Now, if Cillian wanted to play with a doll or something, I'm sure I would have been like, that's fine. But like for me to like purchase, he's like, what? He's like me, like me purchasing things or like encouraging that, I never did. It was just very, it was very stereotypical. Yeah, I bought little Katie. I bought Katie little girl like dusting things and cleaning things and the little plastic kitchens with the food. But Cillian and Caleb didn't get that. They got, you know, like I said, the trucks, the balls, the bats, the ball mitts, you know, all of that stuff. Play guns even. So
Pew
yeah.
pew.
Pew pew.
Pew, pew. Yes, so many stereotypes out there. And I mean, like in commercials and the clothing that's out there, you know, that just already separates us. Mm-hmm, and you know what's funny now? I say it's funny because now it's like a whole like trending thing, but like the whole gender reveal, the pink powder or pink balloon, whatever, and then a blue and all of that. Like, that's still like such a separation in like the stereotypes.
We did that with our daughter. We had a gender reveal, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know what else to say, but it was a lot of fun, and we did the same thing. And blue, pink, it is gender specific.
Yes.
I don't know why, but like even before the baby's born, it's kind of pointed out there. Even though I don't think it's a problem yet because they're not born, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, my stepdaughter had a period that she was into Thomas the Train, into action figures and stuff like that, and it could the point where like, why is she into that kind of stuff? I was like, that's boy toys. So for the longest time, she goes like, oh, are you a girl, boy? I'm a boy, because she's programmed to think she's a boy because I don't like boy stuff. Yeah. So I must be a boy. I don't really understand that.
That's interesting. Has that switched now?
Yes, it has switched. Still tomboy-ish, but I mean, she knows she's a girl. But I mean, at the age of like 2, 3, you don't really know any better.
Right.
Yeah. And even saying tomboy-ish, I mean, that's a phrase that we probably should try to stay clear from and avoid. But we've been so like a product of our environment and our, situations that we've been in where it's just a common thing to say.
Yes. So how then do we break this cycle of like this stereotype, this gender role type of situation? How do we break that cycle?
A way that we can break it is just by kids will be kids, but making sure that men and women both could share their feelings, think it's okay. A lot of men, as they get older, they use drinking to bond, hug, be masculine, and drinking and get bond with other bros. And the bro code, and that's the only time they can really share their feelings is when they're hammered.
That's true, probably.
Yeah. What is some of my notes? Sorry.
Well, while you're looking at that, so something that's really hit me a lot this weekend, and maybe it's just knowing that we're going to talk about this, but just watching Cillian for the very first time really be a dad in long periods of time, because he lives in California, I live in Iowa, and the COVID happened, and everybody's quarantining, and I couldn't be here for the birth, I couldn't be here at all, but we did meet one time to meet, whatever. But he is a really good dad, and he does things.
I try.
He does things that I remember my dad had 8 kids. I was number 8. And to this day, everybody said Dad never changed a diaper. Dad never played with the kids. Dad never did any of that stereotypical stuff. So it's nice to see that generations shift. Cillian is all about changing the diaper. He feeds, he plays, he sings to her, he changes her outfits, he does everything. And it just really warms my heart that he's not like, well, that's not my job to do that. I mean, it's his kid, it's his wife's kids. Yeah, she does. I was just going to say that. She does it as well. But I'm saying you guys are both, it seems to me, you guys are very equal when it comes to the parenting. And that is so freaking phenomenal. And I can't wait even for the next generation, because it's only going to get better. So I know I lacked in a lot of those areas. So it's really cool to see you do that as a dad. It's really awesome. So did you find something that you wanted to say?
Well, the things that I saw is because what I mentioned, bro code and drinking, we were trained just in movies and gender. It's a lot of times boys think girls are objects. I want to hit that. Like, ooh, she looks so sexy, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, and I put up the notes. It's from a good documentary. It's The Mask That, what is it called? The Mask That Hides Us? Something like that. I don't know. We'll link it down below. Link it down below if you want to check out the documentary, which is where I got a lot of these notes from. But it was like one thing we think of is when drinking, is that we are designed as men, as women are beneath men. We see it in the cultures. Oops. I did that. But we see it in cultures all the time. And let me read, 1 in 5 college women are victims from sexual assault. And a lot of boys do not rat out other men because it's the bro code, and they were ashamed if you are a good man and you're like, oh, this is wrong, should probably tell somebody. They're afraid they're going to be ashamed by other men. So they're not going to be fit in their friends group anymore. Therefore, there's a lot of things that are not reported. And it's like, we see it all the time. I'm pretty sure there's many women that's probably been watching the show that something happened to them and they haven't even brought it up for them in daylight because they're ashamed that happened. And probably men that have seen stuff like this and they're ashamed that happened that, like, don't want to talk about.
Right. And I wonder what and how those individuals who aren't saying anything are even dealing with it. Like, how is it manifesting in itself, right? Because this is like stored information, which is going to show up in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is.
Tammy, are you good? You're just kind of like...
No, I'm not. I'm just absorbing. Yeah.
And back to the subject when boys would be boys. A lot of boys would be boys, they act out, and because a lot of little children act out because they hold all this anger in, they're not supposed to cry in public, so they act out, and it actually comes out to, oh, they have ADHD. Well, we don't think, why are they acting this way? Instead of, oh, they just have ADHD, maybe there's actually a problem behind the way they're acting, and possibly, at least I believe it is, because be a man, don't be a sissy. They don't have an outlet, a healthy outlet to let that anger out. It turns into anger. Like I said earlier, pain is anger. Anger is pain. They're coexistent.
And they just create these boundaries and these walls up that just make it more difficult to talk about those things because they've been trained to do so.
Right. I mean, I will definitely say I grew up in a place of like, don't show this emotion, or I wasn't even like told, but I knew not to cry, not to show sadness and things like that. And like we've talked about before, vulnerability, like learning how to be vulnerable is definitely like an art form for me. But at the same time, when we're being told don't do something, we're not told what to actually do.
Just don't do this, but they will show you what you can do instead of.
Yeah, what can we do instead if you're saying don't? So what does that leave us? Like that just leaves a whole slew of like shenanigans.
A lot of men, including myself, don't know how to deal with that man up and stuff like that. Well,
right.
Let's do it. It translates to anger. That's what it does.
And does it confuse you? And like, how should I act then?
How should I act? Yeah, or that's the only way I know how to, because I got all this built up. It builds up, and we need to just release it. And that's the only way we know how to release it, because we see aggression in our media and everything.
Yes.
It's widely acceptable too. It seems like it's in music videos, it's in movies, it's all over, and it makes us be like, oh, it's not. We are desensitized by it.
Right. Like have all the women, have all the girls, do all the violence and stuff like that, because that's quote unquote okay, but no, not okay, right?
Not okay.
So then can we talk about anger for a bit then, since that seems to be like the main emotion that men are supposed to show and feel?
Yeah, and Cillian talked a lot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we already mentioned anger probably about 4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah. I think what I was thinking about anger too is, as therapists, that the analogy of the iceberg. So above the water, we see this little, cute little iceberg, and it's teeny tiny. But then underneath it, we see this big bulbous piece of ice, and kind of like what Cillian was talking about earlier. Anger, we see a little bit of it, we display a little bit of anger, but we don't know what's underneath that. So it represents the idea that anger is displayed outwardly, other emotions are hidden underneath, feelings such as sadness, fear, guilt, shame, those types of things that nobody likes. And it might cause a person to feel vulnerable, or have they don't want to be vulnerable, so they just hide it. So again, they only show what they want to show, and the rest of it is hidden underneath. So I like that analogy of the iceberg and anger.
Another thing that a lot of do is, like, we see in high school and stuff, people, they're the class clown, they joke around, they distract themselves from the anger. Like, I'm I have a habit, and I did that for years. I hid behind a bottle to deal with my anger. It's like I was a workaholic, so I was too exhausted to deal with anger. I was in the gym, working out twice a day. Like I said, I kept distract myself from the way I actually felt or dealing with it anger. Find other things like, okay, I don't want to be angry. What can I do to distract myself from the way I feel?
And it sounds like the feeling you were trying to avoid didn't necessarily like disappear or go away. It was being masked. You're like pushing it down, stuffing it and stuffing it.
Or like channeling that energy somewhere else. So I mean, with him working out is a great thing. It's a great outlet. It's a great coping mechanism. But doing that because that you want to avoid the other feels it's not healthy. So yeah,
for sure. Something twisted I say in therapy, and which is weird. I say it's twisted, but like I'll tell some clients that like anger is my favorite emotion, and they'll like have this look like WTF, what? And I'm like, no, let me explain before you walk out of my office and tell everyone this therapist is wild. Like I will say it's my favorite because like anger, like you said, is the tip of the iceberg. We're all gonna see it. It's the obvious thing, like, oh yeah, dude is angry or she's angry, right? But like below it, like it tells you a story about like what's leading up to that anger, and that's why I love that. Like it's such a powerful emotion because it tells a story. It tells more than just, oh yeah, they're angry.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One thing that I do have my notes up, but because I do believe anger is a cause of a lot of problem that 90% of homicides caused by males. 94%. Might as well be the 100.
Might as well, right? Unreported stuff.
And every hour, 3 people are killed. 90% of the participants are male, and 50% of them are under the age of 25.
So we got a whole lot of people who are not dealing with their anger appropriately.
Or emotions overall, right? Yeah. So we're here talking about toxic. What was that, Tammy?
I said that's why we're here, therapy talkers.
Yes, that's why we're here. Toxic masculinity.
That stigma.
Yes, we got to change it, you know, and like Cillian mentioned earlier, we're changing the future in like having this discussion about it, talking to our children now. I don't have kids, but I hope to inspire children out there and adults themselves, like, hey, feel your feelings, talk about different things, and it's okay.
Pauline, you're inspiring everyone.
Wings fly.
Fly. I'm a pelican, let me fly. Or no, peacock, actually. I said that quote wrong. Peacock.
He quotes that movie all the time.
One of my favorites.
Oh no.
He likes the stupid movies like I do.
Yeah, we can do a whole episode about movies like that.
We could, but we should probably wrap up.
Wrap it up, put a bow on it.
Wrap it up. Anything else that we want to discuss? I think we talked about what it is, the roles, right? And how do we break the cycle? We talk about, as a parent, what that's like for that, and anger and all the feels around that. Anything else you want to add to that, Pauline?
I think we did like a good condensed form of it. We can certainly do more. But of course, we like y'all to let us know in the comments below. If you want to hear more about this topic or topics such as this, let us know in the comments below. We'll do it. We got time.
We'll do it.
Or something.
And make sure while you're looking at and commenting it, you like and subscribe.
Yes. Thank you, Cillian.
Well, take us out of here, Tammy.
Yeah, we want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for our new and existing subscribers. We appreciate the heck out of you. Together, we are definitely making a dent in the mental health world and the negative stigma that comes in and around that. Please hit like and subscribe if you've been affected by toxic masculinity or anything that we've talked about today. We would totally love for you to pop in the comments below. I cannot talk. We definitely want to have an ongoing discussion about this. Like Pauline said, we just scratched the surface. This is a really big topic and we're only covering an itty bitty part of it. So we would love to have an ongoing discussion. So pop it down below. So we will see you next week on Therapy Talk. By then,
have a great day.
have a great day.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.